And the big winner, no question about it, was the driver of car number 28, who was racing for Lou Gerton's Foundation, who raised $7,205. He'll be driving cart number 25. It'll be David Arute.
Then starting second, he raised $6,371 for the Connecticut chapter of Autism Speaks. He's a former champion of the Pro 4 Limited Division, and he will be driving car number 29. That is Stan Mertz.
And starting in the third starting position, racing for Alzheimer's Association, he raised $5,750. Ladies and gentlemen, he'll be driving car number 93. He's a former champion of the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. Would you welcome Ronnie Silk?
Our next driver raised $4,655 for the Massachusetts chapter of Autism Speaks. He is a Pro 4 Modified champion. Tonight he'll be in car number 32, Rob Ricciardi Jr.
Fifth starter on the field will be setting behind the wheel of the Racing for Catherine Hubbard Animal Sanctuary. Ladies and gentlemen, he raised $4,246. He'll be driving car number 10C. He's an outstanding competitor on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. Would you welcome Richie Pillai Jr.?
Our next driver got into the CarQuest Champions for Charities event because he has won 8 SK Modified Championships at Stafford Motor Speedway. And he also raised $4,100 for Racing Against Cancer. He is aboard car number 28, and it is Ted Christopher.
Car number 17 will be starting next. He is racing for Troy Russell and the benefit fund there. He raised in excess of $3,000. Ladies and gentlemen, the driver of cart number 17 will be Ron Mitford Jr.
Our next driver is in the race by virtue of his 2012 Wheeling Modified Tour Championship. He has raised $2,600 for ovarian cancer research. Tonight, he will be in cart number 2, Doug Kobe.
Scheduled to start 9th in the grid. This gentleman is one of the hometown favorites. He's accomplished a lot in his racing career. He runs on the Wheeling Modified Tour weekly in the late models and the SK Modified division. He'll be driving for the Racing for Victory Junction Gang Camp. He raised $2,275. Ladies and gentlemen, driving cart number 23, the Woodman, Woody Pitkat.
Starting 10th in the field is a former SK champion at Stafford Motor Speedway. He's racing for the Connecticut chapter of Make-A-Wish Foundation, and he has raised $2,130, driving cart number 19, Ryan Priest.
11th starter in the field. He's racing for the Compassion of Cats. He raised $1,621. Car number 14 for 5-time champion Bobby Potter.
This driver won an SK Modified Championship at the Waterford Speed Bowl. He is racing for the Connecticut Children's Medical Center. It has raised $1,172. He is occupying cart number 26, Ron Uhas Jr.
And the scratch starter to the field will set behind the wheel of car number 33. Racing for the Spalding Foundation, he collected $400, Randy Cabral. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mayberry, number 7, at the front of the field, pacing the field. They'll double up, and it'll be showtime.
That is driven by Lauren Gagner, who competes in that car, and the Sarek Wild Thing carts on Monday nights. So that is called a 2-cylinder modified that she is aboard now, and that is pacing the field, a Pro 2 modified. And at the front of the field, David Arute and Stan Mertz, as Ted Christopher is in the orange, number 28, and David Arute will be in the black and red, number 28.
They come off turn number 4. The yellow flag is still out in the field. Now, when you talk to the drivers about this situation, imagine David Arute. He competes in the limited late models. He come up from karts and the dare stocks, and for him to be racing against the top drivers from the Wheel and Modified Tour, former champions, current champions, and point leaders, it's an amazing accomplishment, and it's a night to remember for him.
And we had him on our show, our TV show, Mark Wernack's Stories from Victory Lane, and that is exactly what he said. What a thrill it is to race against these guys, and he thinks because he has won championships in a go-kart on this track, it might give him a little bit of an advantage.
We're going to see in just a few moments. The field is doubled up. This is a real race, 15 circuits. It's more now than just the money they've raised. It's the opportunity for bragging rights. Who is the best? We know what they do on the Modified Tour. We know what they do in the SKs, the Limiteds, the Lights. We know where they've come from, and we know where they're going. But now we're going to see if they can get the job done. Mighty, the cars are small. The spirit is high. The cause is great. This is what the CarQuest Champions for Charity event is all about. They head down the back straightaway. Pace vehicle pulls away from the competition. Matt Buckler, it's showtime. All bets are off. Who's going to be the best after 15 circuits? It's a no-holds-barred shootout at the OK Corral. The green is out.
And it looks like David Arute will lead everybody across the line. Already we have battles for the lead. Ron Midford trying to make a move to the front.
Car number 93 making its presence known is Ronnie Silk. Meanwhile, David Arute out in command. They're 3 wide. Make it 4 wide. They come off turn number 4. Back to the line. Ted Christopher is moving to the front of the field. Ted Christopher, the orange number 28. He muscles his way down underneath David Arute. Arute still guarding and holding on. Battle is for the 3rd spot. All of a sudden, they're 3. Make it 4 wide as they head to turn 3.
They are defying the laws of physics as they go off the 4th corner. Moving into 2nd is that number 10 car, as that is Rich Pillai. And Pillai is on a mission.
Pillai is on a mission. He's carrying a great cause from the Newtown area. Pillai is looking very racy. He moves in, challenges for the 2nd spot, already starting to develop as car number 2 has suddenly come to life for Doug Colby. Colby moves into 2nd. Here comes Pillai, the neon green and red car. Car number 10, challenging for 2nd, Matt, as they come off turn 4.
And he almost made a move against Ted Christopher, the lead. For the lead, they get bottled up behind Christopher. And trying to stay on the outside is Kobe, but he can't keep his cart down low. It looks like Midford is in the middle of that traffic jam, and Pillai emerges in 2nd place.
There's no question about it as they come off turn number 4. Keep your eyes on the battle raging for 2nd. The 2 car suddenly becomes a factor as they work their way off the turn and back down to the line. Here's a challenge for 2nd, Matt.
And it looks like it is Kobe making a smooth move to get into the runner-up position in cart number 2.
Meanwhile, Pillai has to settle back in to the runner-up spot. All of a sudden, now breaking into the front pack of cars is the number 2 car. We talked about Doug Colby. Let's look a little further back, and all of a sudden, David Arute is coming back to life. Back to the line they come. Christopher in command. He holds off the challenges. Car number 2 still setting in 2nd. And that, of course, is Doug Colby. They touch off the 2nd turn. Down the back straightaway. Trouble now. We've got one in the wall.
So a car is buried into the backstretch wall coming out of turn number 4. The yellow flag is out.
Car number
the
33
car is Randy Cabral, the 4-time NEMA Midget champion, is up against the barrier coming out of the 4th corner.
So Cabral has come to a screeching halt in a part of the racetrack that he didn't want to be located in.
That underneath in those tires.
There is no question about it that Ted Christopher is the dominant car at the front of the field. And we've just been told it is hard to take a look at it, but that car in 2nd is the 2T car. So that's the 2T car, and we believe that is the Ron Midford car. Okay, it was originally listed on our roster as the number 17 car, but that is the 2T car. Doug Colby is in the 10 car, so there was a little bit of changing in who, what,
sense,
and why.
Ben,
So
because Doug Colby used to run 10 when he was in the late models and the pro stocks here. That was his old number. So he is in the 10 car. Now, Ted Christopher spent a lot of Monday nights here watching his nephew, Mike Christopher Jr., win races in the junior outlaw division. So Ted, I think, knows the fast way around just by all the time he spent watching Mike Christopher Jr. in action.
Well, we've got a casualty over there on the outside of the racetrack. A car has come to a screeching halt.
I think that's David Arute. David Arute, car number 28.
David Arute's car that all of a sudden developed a problem. So they are got that situation fired back up. Let's see what's going to happen. They're single file this time. Ted Christopher in command. As we said before, Ron Mitford doing a great job for the Troy Russell Benefit Fund, currently in the second spot. And then car number 10 doing a great job as well. And that, of course, we said before, we know the story on that one. Let's see what's going to happen now. They're trying to get them back together and doubled up at as we're about ready to go to green.
Well, it's already been a good night for Ron Mitford's boss, Tommy Bowles, who finished second in the SK Modifieds. We'll see what Ronnie can do. He has home track advantage, but look who gets the jump on the restart. Guess who? Ted Christopher.
Christopher showing his muscle again as he is out in front and not really pulling away this time. What a battle for second, Matt.
Mitford trying to hang on, and here comes Doug Colby. Car number 10, trying to rabble-rouse his way underneath Mitford. Doesn't have the energy to do it. Mitford, who has won a lot of races on this track, is trying to narrow the gap that separates him and Ted Christopher.
No question about it as they head deep into turn number 3. A little further back in the field, the number 14 car will dip out of line, and that's Bob Potter. Potter, who's usually the guy who gives rides to people. He's going for the ride here, and a good run from the back to the front. Lead change off the back stretch, down the back straightaway. They touch. Here comes the number 2 car, Matt.
And he gets the jump on Christopher. Christopher almost gets run over as his left side wheels were run over, and Doug Colby is able to get by him to move into third.
So Doug Colby moves into the third spot, deep into turn number 3, out in front, and still the leader of the pack. As he comes back to the line, it is Mitford, who looks very racy at the point.
Boy, I thought this was an exhibition race, Ben, but they are running each other over. They are going for positions. Doug Colby trying to hang out a second by his fingernails.
Here comes Christopher.
Resurgence. Yellow out.
Oh, caution flag is out just as things were getting hot.
Christopher was in fourth place, Ben, and he was going to second. And the reason for the yellow
is debris on the front straightaway. So that's going to tighten things back up.
What a move by Ted Christopher. It didn't count, but he was in fourth, and all of a sudden he decided to throw it in and make it 3 wide.
Let's set the field, Matt.
So we have in the lead Ron Mitford, the 2-time senior kart champ. In second is Doug Colby. In third is Ted Christopher. And in fourth, it's very difficult to make out that number.
Well, you know, Matt, looking at this again, the Rich Pillai car is on the outside. That was the number 10 machine. So I think that's on the outside of the front row. Inside is the Mitford machine. Row number 2 is the number 28 machine of Teddy Christopher. Then we've got Doug Colby in that white car on the outside. So, again, we apologize for that, but we're just getting settled back in, and we are in for a real treat. Rich Pillai, as we said right from the start of this event, just doing a masterful job. Let's see what's going to happen, Matt, as they head down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and if you're enjoying this, stop by on Monday nights here, and you can see a whole night of kart racing. They will resume on July 8th. Who's going to resume into the lead? Mitford.
5 laps remaining. 5 laps remaining and out in front. The leader is still Mitford. Pillai is still running in second. Christopher's getting a taste of his own medicine. Down low to the inside. Rich Pillai takes over the lead.
Christopher
out
takes
in
the
front.
inside position, though, Ben.
He sure does. He makes his magic there. Down to the bottom. Christopher back in command. Pillai has to settle back into second. Look at the battle for third. 3. Make it 4 cars as they thunder down into turn 3.
As Christopher found a shortcut now, Pillai finds that same shortcut. Rich Pillai is back in front.
Pillai, the leader of the pack. He starts to pull away. Christopher taps him on the back bumper. All of a sudden, here comes Colby. Colby moves to the inside. Mitford is back in the thick of things. Off the turn to the line. 3 wide again. They come back to the stripe. Middle pack of cars still squirming as they work their way to the front. Pillai is still the leader. 13 laps up on the board.
And it is Colby trying
Trouble down the back straightaway. We've got 2 cars locked together.
Call. Wow.
So the caution comes out. 13 laps are up on the big board. And Joe Koss is right there. And he can tell us who the 2 cars that were involved there, the 2 car numbers, please.
It is Ryan Priest and Ronnie Silk, the two cars that are involved. For Ryan Priest and Ronnie Silk, the two cars that are involved. And they are actually linked together. The left front of Ronnie Silk's white number 93 is stuck into the Nerf bar on the right side of Ryan Priest's black number 19. And they are, well, chipping at each other a little bit after that incident there as they came off the corner. And let's see how many guys it's going to take to separate this, by the way. So here we go. We've got our Ford family event field safety team out here. You count them. You see all the orange chutes. How many guys does it take to separate two Wild Thing carts? And two wheel-modified tour drivers sitting in there is bouncing around like rag dolls as they try to separate these two race cars. They're still trying to get Ronnie Silk. Now they got the right rear of Ryan Priest's car stuck in Ronnie Silk's race car. It was the right front a second. There we go. All right, here we go. Ryan Priest is like, I'm out of here. And everybody's happy down here. They're going to fire up a little pull start on the 93 of Ronnie Silk. And I'm going to go with about 10, by the way, guys to separate two Wild Thing carts.
Well, you know, I think you called that one pretty much right on the money. All of a sudden, it appeared that we had another car that almost came to a screeching halt, and that looks like the 93 now gets fired back up, and we should be back and ready to go once again. So, whoa! Our recovery truck
vehicle
almost literally took out Ryan Priest. So let's see what's going to happen. Field being told to cross over. Rich Pillai, remember his charity. The charity for Rich Pillai, one near and dear to his heart, the Racing for Catherine Hubbard Animal Sanctuary. He raised $4,246. Matt alongside Doug Colby with the number 2 car. Row number 2, Midford, Christopher, get ready. It's showtime. 2 circuits to go, Matt, as they come to the stripe.
And Pillai is able to get to jump. Here comes Midford as he is trying to move in, but Doug Colby beats him to the punch. Ted Christopher ready to make some noise in cart number 28.
Christopher sneaks down to the inside. They make a little contact, a little bit of a touch situation. White flag is out. White flag is out. Final circuit. It is Rich Pillai, the leader of the pack. We've got one upside down on the front straightaway. One upside down on the front straightaway. Off turn number 4. Double checkers are out. And Rich Pillai will take down the win. Colby will finish in second. And we've got a car upside down on the front straightaway as the event goes to checker. And a wild ride. We'll try to check and find out the number on what the car is.
The emergency crew quickly going to that cart to try to get it back on its wheels as they are lifting that car, getting it back on its wheels. So it is the back 33
car for Randy Cabral. He had a tough night. He was involved in the tires.
Wow, what a race that was.
It sure was.
It was 3 wide behind Rich Pillai, who was able to get the win. Fran Lawler runs that car during the regular season last year. It was painted green, and it was known as the Green Pickle. And Rich Pillai has been able to take that Fran Lawler cart and get it into victory lane.
Well, there's going to be a lot of stories to be told about this one, but down in CarQuest to Victory Lane, we'll recap after we conclude Victory Lane of the causes and the great money that was raised, and there was no question about it. It was a great race. Let's go down to CarQuest Victory Lane, and I believe it's going to be Joe Koss who'll be down there in Victory Lane.
Well, Richie Pillai Jr. has won the CarQuest Champions for Charity event tonight. Car number 10C, and he did it for the Danbury Animal Welfare Society and, of course, Catherine Violet Hubbard, a young lady who was tragically lost at the Newtown Elementary School, Sandy Hook Elementary School in December, and an animal society that has been set up in her honor. And Richie Pillai Jr. has taken home the victory tonight. Richie, that was pretty fun to watch. You get the win, and you did it for a great cause tonight, and you have won the CarQuest Champions for Charity event.
Yeah, it's funny. It's probably the first race my dad's ever missed, so probably tell him to stay home more often. But you know, this is has nothing to do with all these great drivers. It has to do for all these charities. Collectively, we raised over $45,000. And I got Sandy Hook, Newtown, the Catherine Hubbard Animal Sanctuary. The families here, their parents, her older brother Freddie, they're all here. And I mean, it brings tears to my eyes, the horrific tragedy they all incurred. And for them to come here tonight, to be here with us, means a lot. So thanks for everybody for coming. Thank you to CARQUEST. Thank you to Lisa Root, Mark Root, Stafford Speedway. This isn't just this year. We're going to keep raising money throughout the rest of the year. I got stickers at every tour race and any other race I'm fortunate to race in. Please come, buy stickers, help us build this animal sanctuary. It's going to be a great thing. It's right here in Connecticut, where most of us are from. It's the heart of modified racing. So, yeah, thank you to everybody that puts us on.
And that's really what it's all about. Richie Pillai Jr. keeping everything in perspective. He's got the win tonight, but of course tonight it was all about the Charities. Ron Midford Jr., pretty wild there. You got some experience in these cars. You gave these guys a run for their money tonight as well.
Yeah, that was definitely more of a race than I think all of us expected. That was a lot of fun.
Certainly was on our end as well. If you had anything for Richie Pillai Jr., what would you have done different there at the end?
I don't know. Richie was actually very good tonight. That car was flying. So I just wanted to finish on the podium. That way we could talk about my cousin Troy Russell and the charity. Troy broke his neck last August in a diving accident, and it's been a long road to recovery for him. And it's been a very tough year on our family. And I'm just happy that we can, any little bit helps as far as his recovery goes. And I'm happy that we can raise money and do an event like this, and Stafford Motor Speedway puts it on.
All right, Ron Midford Jr. finishes in the second spot. Doug Kobe, ovarian cancer research, Team Hope takes it to third place tonight. A pretty eventful night, and you were up there mixing it up with the best of them.
Yeah, we were up there all night having some fun. I want to thank the Wild Thing Kart people for having us out here and setting me up with a really fast car. I really want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and supporting all these charities. Of course, I was racing for the Ovarian Cancer Research Fund, and I'm really happy that the person that I'm racing for, Carrie Hendrick, she made the trip up from Virginia to check out Stafford Speedway. She's familiar with Southern late model racing, and we got to show her some SK Modifieds tonight, and we're praying for her to be strong and keep fighting ovarian cancer. We're really proud of her for where she's come so far, and it's not over yet, but she's definitely very strong and very supportive of all of us in our racing, and it's really fun to be here. So thanks everybody for coming out. Thanks Stafford Speedway for having this, and of course CarQuest for putting this on however many years in a row they have.
Well, Doug Kobe finishes third tonight in the event, and guys, they all hit it right on the head. It's all about the charities down here in CarQuest Victory Lane. We celebrate the racing, but tonight we celebrate a great act towards the community in over $45,000 raised to various charities throughout this special presentation tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a nice round of applause, if you would, please. The CarQuest Champion for Charities event, raising in excess of $45,000. Next on